The CEO of Exiger, Brandon Daniels, joins us. Brandon's an expert on global supply chains. So, we've talked about this issue with you a couple of times. I was going to say, when I brought up oil, just to do a brief check, I wanted to make the larger point that, there have been a lot of reasons that oil could have went straight up, not just what's happening in the Red Sea, but, the storms we've had all around the country, all kinds of things. But it really, I know it's up a little, but it hasn't gained a ton. What do we make of this disruption and how costly it's really been?
Yeah, thank you, Connell. Good to see you. Well, a lot has happened over the last 30 days. When we first started talking about these issues in the Red Sea, we thought that there may be interim or localized impacts, and there were. And I think we can see, in oil or in crude overall, you are dealing with the fact that it is hard to counteract consumer demand depression, right? Like we're not seeing as significant of a supply pull or a demand pull from the market to create oil price spikes. And then also, there are leveling effects of global distribution in oil, leveling effects of some reduction in interest rates that are going to level off crude prices. And so those things overall are making it so that you're not seeing the supply push from these dynamics in the Red Sea, from these dynamics in the Panama Canal, from, overall geopolitical unrest in the Middle East. However, this is a big point. You're starting to see the price increases in commodities and goods, and you're going to start seeing certain types of fuel, specifically fuel that's in bunkering or in shipping lanes, start to become a scarce commodity as these Red Sea diversions start to pile up and create port congestion.
Okay, so we're not out of the woods by any means, is your point on this yet. Let me go to the hearing today for a moment. They had a guy by the name of Dr. Ian Ralby on, as an expert in maritime security. So let's listen to his testimony just for a moment. I'll come back and talk about it. This was today.
It is not just the U.S. economy, it's global because of the nature of our globalized supply chains. And the important piece that I would also note that doesn't get looked at as much is that it is not just goods for sale. It is also humanitarian aid. And so there are other consequences to this that transcend just the marketplace and go as well to desperately needed aid, medical supplies, other things that need to get to places on time in order to make sure human life is protected. Okay,
so that's obviously important. So you have much more than oil, you have humanitarian aid. I'm going to put one other headline up before you respond, just to kind of put it all together. Carnival, here's the headline from Carnival. Carnival warning of a hit to its earnings after the rerouting of these Red Sea itineraries. Given recent developments and in close consultation with global security experts and government authorities, companies made the decision now to reroute itineraries for 12 ships across 7 brands, which were scheduled for transit in the Red Sea through May 2024. So put all of that together, I think that makes the broader point that there are wider implications here, right?
There are certainly wider implications. So let's start with what happened in Europe over the last 2 weeks, Connell. Over the last 2 weeks, the Red Sea disruptions have made it so that goods are just specifically not getting to Europe. So the 70% of Europe's auto part supply chain is dependent on China, is dependent on Southeast Asia. And those goods are simply not getting to the continent. And so many factories across Europe have had to shut down in the interim period. That does have a humanitarian consequence. That means people aren't going to work. That means that these factories aren't productive. That is a near-term impact to that economy. In addition to that, we're starting to see textiles, we're starting to see finished goods starting to be impacted, because a lot of those took that route through the Suez Canal, through the Red Sea, to hit the European continent. And so you're seeing these immediate impacts of literally plants shutting down, creating problems inside of the supply chain. And that is going to reach the United States in terms of prices. Like, this is becoming more and more urgent. With every day that these disruptions continue to reroute the global backbone of the supply chain, as that person in the hearing just said, actually has a reverberating effect throughout our entire economic system.
Okay, and you wonder how President Biden's response, now we know he has a plan, we said that earlier, will impact things as well. But we have to go for today, Brandon. We always appreciate your expertise on all of this. Brandon, thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.